And welcome to Healthcare Sucks! Yeah, I tried to mix it up a little bit. Of course, one of these days I might sing you a little ditty or song or something. Of course, I don't sing as good as Mr. Fugelish. Mark, a.k.a. Fugel. You know that guy? Mr. Mark Fugel? He's a great guy. He'll be coming back to you soon and to me. With that being said, jokingly, I'm not quite the singer he is, of course. You don't know till you hear, right? Anyway, we're going to jump into it.
The virus starts spreading widely in the UK. But it's very hard to know that seasonal flu in England alone kills between 10,000 and 30,000 people each year, most but not all over the age of 65. Nearly 200 Britons have been repatriated from Wuhan since the end of January and are in quarantine.
Can I just, on a different note, this repatriated? Do you notice how over the last 5 years, guys, there's been these stupid names? Baghdadi, repatriated. Prior to that, there was Chads. Remember in that election that went one way or the other? Little Chad, what a little Chad, man. Little Chads. And etc. There's just all these nutty names. And then I could go into it for like a half an hour. Maybe we will one day, just for jokingly. We'll go into it. And then all the funky names of, and that was funky, not a bad word. Funky, like funky, yeah. I got some funk too, sister. Anyway, just joking. Um, all the political people and their names, and then the House and the Senate. Do you ever look at those guys? Remember those cookies, Keebler cookies? Yeah, do those guys not look like the Keebler cookie guys? Yeah, that should tell you what kind of a mixed up mess we got in the House and the Senate, huh? Watch this, though.
In Milton Keynes and Merseyside. At the weekend, one person threatened to leave Arrow Park Hospital, so emergency regulations have been brought in, allowing forcible detention. But most seem happy with the conditions.
Okay, so what does that mean? That's not here yet, but that's in Canada. The Trudeau, wonderful, happy, you offer all kinds of freedoms to do this and do that and whatever, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? You don't have a freedom to leave that place no more, which I kind of understand to a certain point, definitely, with this plague virus thing. But still, the point is, you're not allowed to leave. So, something to remember, guys, whether you vote for it or not, once you give up rights, whether it's left, right, up, down, whatever side of the fence, blue, red, pink, purple colors, as far as your voter registration goes, once you give it up, it's gone, and the government never gives it back, guys. And then they get exactly what they want, control. Anyway, watch this guy. He's going to paint it. It's a wonderful place. Mr. Bill.
There are all sorts of games available. We've obviously got TVs, we've got access to the internet, Netflix. So all these different things that are actually available to us do help to make this feel not like we're stuck in quarantine.
In Wuhan, the epicenter of the outbreak, the growth in new cases has started to slow, but it's too early to know whether this epidemic can be contained. President Xi Jinping, shown having his temperature taken in Beijing, promised total warfare to beat the virus. This is one of the biggest challenges China has faced in decades. And
like I said in a previous video, if you 1 minute you don't think when they created and messed with the virus and made the 12 monkey syndrome that we're dealing with now, that they haven't made an antivirus and they haven't given it to the military. I want to keep stressing this in almost every video. Just think about it. Where's the military guys? Where are the military guys that are sick? I haven't seen no military. I haven't seen the emperor or any of those people, period. And here's Chi, and he's going around some little minky-dink masks just for show. So, the president ain't going to go with us some rinky-dink mask. Our president wouldn't go around with some rinky-dink mask, I guarantee you. The last president wouldn't go running around with some rinky-dink mask. So you guys do the math and you think about it.
The impact, both medical and economic, are being felt around the world. Fergus Walsh, BBC News.
Getting the animal origin of the deadly.
Number one bad guy. Yeah, this is the bad guy. This is the guy that did it. They got him. He's in a cage. It's all over now. Him and his brothers and sisters did it. Let's take a look at this scary Wuhan creature.
Coronavirus outbreak in China said Friday. The endangered pangolin may be the missing link between bats and humans, but other scientists said the search may not be over. An earlier study, since discredited, pointed to snakes, and there remains numerous candidate species in the Wuhan wildlife market thought to be ground zero of the epidemic. The SARS outbreak of 2002 to 2003, involving a different strain of coronavirus, was transferred to humans by the civet, a small mammal prized in China for its flesh.
Do you believe they're blaming it on that little guy? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's not even what they're doing. I don't know, but you sure look like it to me. And anything that rolls around in a ball, it looks like Sonic. It was much easier when it was a scary bat. People are like afraid of bats. But I did research the bat one. You can look at one of my previous videos. Bats are serious carriers. They actually become immune to the disease. They can harbor the disease. And this particular disease operates in which you don't hear a bunch about on these other places, but in my review of the bats, this particular one can come to a hotter temperature than most of them. And then we've got, of course, if you're keeping track now, up to 24 days, not 14, but WHO still doesn't want to quarantine for 24 days. They just want to 14 and kick them in the street. There's some weird things going on, guys. This is just a quick thank you card for people that are sick. I thought I would show it for a light, nice thing.
Fight the coronavirus, and I'm pleasing God to help you all.
Lighter side. Gotta have some lighter side, guys. If you don't, you're all just down all the time, and it's like, Here's another little, I don't know how long we'll stay on this, but we'll just check it out for a minute. It's something different.
First hit by the coronavirus outbreak, and now there is a new casualty. Home rental companies like Airbnb. Airbnb has suspended all its operations in Beijing until March. The company said it was adhering to government instructions and would refund those affected by the decision. Airbnb's local rival in China has followed suit. On account of the infection control measures that have been adopted by China, most travel companies have had to shut shop. If China is unable to control the outbreak by next month, the suspension will be extended.
Okay. The reason I touched on that is real quick, we're going to be talking about billions and billions of dollars. We probably already are. And like I went to in some of the videos, and if you guys are keeping track, not just the stock market, they took a point already off their GDP, but this thing, that TV, your phone, cars. I mean, we've gave ourselves, or we haven't. Well, I guess in a way we have. We buy that stuff, but the people that make it, because they want cheap labor and stuff, which eventually will be robots making all this stuff. So they'll be taking the human thing out of it. But while the human thing is important, there's still millions of people that are not going back to work. And today, several plants, car plants and part making plants, people were supposed to start back at work. They still didn't send them. You know why? Because people are still sick, because they're not letting the actual numbers out, guys. But what really I'm getting to is, if things don't change real quick, everything you go to get a part for, you're not going to be able to get. You know that dollar store, Dollar Tree? 90% of their inventory comes from over there. So once the inventory in warehouses is gone, it's gone, guys. Walmart, I'd have to shoot for 50% maybe of their stuff, is give or take, from over there. And they've got literal warehouses packed. Okay? The other thing to keep in mind too is, now that this stuff can be on a surface from 5 to 14 days, they're saying. In other words, spitties, sprays, and misties and whatever else's on a surface. So let's say it happened over there, they packed your stuff, they sent it over here, and you got it within that 5 to 14 days, you could get it. Yeah, it could happen. And, things, fortunately, usually don't travel that fast from over there, but you never know. Another thing I noticed, too, is UPS is shutting down things over there. So really huge things, and money-wise. And, in the past, some of the reasons we've went to war, besides arguing with people, has been financial this, money's that. Of course, with the Nazi situation, he just wanted to control the whole world and take over the whole world, But there's a nut like that comes around every once in a while, but usually they don't get to get as far, thank God, as that guy, huh? Alrighty. Well, we'll see what else is on the agenda. And let's see, what else do we want to look at today? This is about test kits.
Residents who have recently returned to the valley from China.
In total, the death toll has topped 1,000 people today. The health district said again that there are no confirmed cases of the coronavirus here in Las Vegas. A News Now reporter Shakayla Alvaranga live from the health district near 95 in Decatur with a bit more.
Well, Brian and Denise, a health district official would not say how many people are being monitored right now, but we do know that the individuals underwent a medical screening and did not show any signs or symptoms before leaving China. They are now undergoing a 14-day self-quarantine. The health district has requested a test kit from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention to help with testing for the 2019 novel coronavirus.
It would be a great help, because now we should be able to make a quick diagnosis of whether the person is actually carrying the virus or not.
Which, if you watched my previous videos, the last two, one of those two we talked about down in San Diego, that some of the people that are new cases that are back in, one of them particularly, they tested negative, guys, and they were sent out. And I've done some research, and up to 50% of those are coming up negative. So how many of those people were let go and running around and passing it? How many, again, I talked about this to you guys. How many people are carriers? Back in different eras of different plagues and stuff, there was typhoid Mary, I think it was, and other ones. Some of those people are carriers. They don't even show or get the disease. And now we're going to take a look at The infection rate on cruise ships doubles in one day. On CNN.
Princess cruise ship has doubled in a single day to 135, but Japanese authorities say it would be too difficult to test all 3,700 people on board that ship. The Diamond Princess is leaving port in Yokohama, Japan, for what the captain calls normal sea operations. One of the passengers quarantined on the ship for the past week explained how she and her family are passing the time.
We've been doing a bit of stretching and exercise in the room just to make sure that we're keeping a bit healthy. I've been chatting to a lot of family and friends. A lot of messages coming in that they're keeping me preoccupied and just chatting with them. We've got reading, we've got movies to watch.
We
the kids are
kind of heard this story.
A lot of social media.
I don't know if I believe all this that they're doing either. But here's something else. I don't know what it's going to be. You and I are going to check it out first person.
And CNN's Matt Rivers is live this hour.
हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम टू एप्टिक प्लस एडिटोरियल एनालिसिस। होप आप सभी लोगों की प्रिपरेशन काफ़ी अच्छी चल रही होगी। इस वीडियो सेशन में मैं आपके साथ हिंदू और इंडियन स्पेस से जो इंपॉर्टेंट आर्टिकल है, जो इंपॉर्टेंट एडिटोरियल आए हुए हैं आपके साथ, तो वीडियो के अंत तक बने रहें ताकि आप कुछ क्वेश्चन का प्रैक्टिस कर पाएँ। सो आज है 11th of February और जो
Well, that didn't turn out to be much, guys. Sorry. Here's something about the money again.
Okay, very good morning, Tuesday, 11th of February. Hope everyone is doing well. Just to go over then a few things. An update on the virus.
And confirmed cases 43, 112. S&P 500 hits new ATH despite the corona. Doesn't sound like much, guys. Let's do another one. Let's take a chance. Why not?
Spread of coronavirus and will allow health authorities to forcibly quarantine suspected cases. It comes as a doctor's practice in a pharmacy in southern England were temporarily closed after a staff member tested positive. 5 of the now 8 people diagnosed in the UK are linked to the British man who caught the virus at a conference in Singapore and traveled to a ski resort in France before returning home. The World Health Organization chief has warned that these type of cases could be the spark that becomes a bigger fire.
We've heard this story before.
In recent days, we have seen some concerning instances of onward transmission from people with no travel history to China. The detection of this small number of cases could be the spark that becomes a bigger fire. But for now, it's only a spark. Our objective remains containment.
In Brussels, the EU chief for crisis management said an emergency meeting of health ministers.
And they didn't catch it on this one, but the last one we talked about going from 14-day when it's contagious now to 24 days. And then WHO, it's a spark and all this stuff. Give us $600 million, guys, with their hands out. And 60 million of that's going to go into our coffers right off the bat. And then, like I put in another video, guess who came to one of the rescues? Bill Gates. Event 201. Look it up. Event 201. $100 million. Here you go. Ching. Yeah. One World Order. Event 201. Yeah, it's getting scary between all the what ifs and then what's really going on.
Will be held on Thursday to discuss the virus's spread.
It is possible, though, that before things get better, they will still or could still get somewhat worse. But this will not discourage us. This will only motivate us more.
In China's state TV broadcast,
That was inspiring. Before things get to better, could get much worse. Really? Tell us something we don't already know. And then again, this is President Xi with a flimsy little mask. Give me a break, guys. If you think they don't already have the antivirus, then there's nothing I can tell you, because I would bet, and I'm not a betting man, I would bet they do. And with that, we're going to close this edition. Salute to the troops. Salute to you guys, my viewers. And thank you for watching. And may God bless you. May you be safe. And may we all get through this, whichever way it turns. And remember to love one another for a minute. A minute. That's all it takes. Love each other. Watch some of my previous videos. There's some way worse situations out there, living conditions, than we're in. I did some interviews or some videos on the conditions that if some of these things hit some of these places, like over in Africa and other places where people are picking through garbage to live and eat and survive. And they've already, you should watch my video, one of my previous videos on that situation, and take a look at that and think how fast it would be. Like he just said, wildfire. It would be wildfire, like a kid playing with matches in a dry hay field in summertime. It would go, and it would be no stopping it. And with that, no fear porn here, just the truth. And this is Healthcare Sucks saying have a good night, and thank you for tuning in. Turning in? Tuning in. Because you could tune in or tune out, or you can just watch for the fun of it, and for the knowledge you'll get, and for something besides what's on channel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out there that's feeding you BS and politics 24/7. Have a great night, and healthcare sucks. Over and out.